the heck is going on, YouTube? This is your boy Omar here once again with another video. Flashing lights is somewhere over there, and this one is a little critical, but it's a good one. Very informative, so stick around, man. If you're new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and like, you subscribe, mainly subscribe, and you go ahead and share a comment if you feel like it. Tell me what you think. Tell me your perspective. With that being said, let's get into the video. I'm not going to be adding no modifications to my board. I'm not going to be explaining how to change this, how to add that, how to do this, how to do that. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I actually want to tell you guys something, man. Onewheels are fun. There's no way you can sit here and say that they're not fun. If you sit down here and you tell me that they're not fun, I'm not sure exactly what to tell you. You're definitely not from our kind. I can sit here and judge you, and I can sit here and say nothing bad about you, but you definitely don't enjoy what freedom truly is like. Now here's a message to all my one-wheel riders out there. Because of you guys, we are who we are today. A very strong community. We all have came together to get people going, to teach people how to do things well, to do things the way that we should at the end of the day, which is being safe enough. But when it comes down to riding one wheel, there's a lot of things you have to face. There's a lot of things you have to be aware of. There's a lot of things that you really have to study. Let me go ahead and hop on to another subject. So the Cpsc wants to go ahead and send a message to all the consumers that are actually obtaining or purchasing these electric boards. Now here's the thing. This is my personal opinion. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and post a couple pictures, maybe right here, or maybe down here, or maybe just everywhere, all over this video, because I want to share with you guys my experience with Onewheel. My experience with Onewheel has been very unique. From the very moment that I got it to the very moment that I still have it, people are telling me to sell it. There's no way I could do that. I've invested so many miles in this, and I've invested so much in this board that there's no way I can get rid of it. It's a part of me already. It's a cultural thing. With that being said, Onewheels are a culture. Onewheel is a culture. The reason why I say that is because, again, there's a massive amount of people that know about these boards. They're knowledgeable about these boards. And guess what? First foremost, they actually study the board. The point about riding Onewheels is that you have to know exactly how safe you need to be. In this case, I wasn't safe enough. Let me get to my details in a sec. I want to pretty much just tell Cpsc. So this video is pretty much about everything that I have gone through with my Onewheel, my experience, like I said once again. And I want to let you guys know something. I'm going to get back on. Things that happen, they're bound to happen. Cpsc wants to go ahead and cancel Onewheel. Let me tell you something. If you want to go ahead and ban Onewheel, why don't you go ahead and ban all the other board sports that are out there, such as waveboarding, such as surfing, such as skateboarding, such as snowboarding. If you don't understand what the risk is about, then I'm not sure exactly why all these things are invented. Onewheel has actually been out for over 5 years, and within those 5 years, it's actually conquered so much more than what we can imagine. From the actual Onewheel that had an actual timing belt to now that it's just a hub and it's electric and it's phenomenal. Words can't explain how I feel about Onewheel. I love Onewheel. There's nothing I can do about that. But let me also tell you guys something. If you decide to do a board, sport, or any of that nature, you have to know that there's a risk to it. When you actually buy a surfboard, I don't know. I've never been into finding out this information or anything like that, or snowboarding or anything like that. But they don't have safety, guidelines. It's all on you, right? It's all on you to get geared up. I wear my helmet. I wear my gloves. I don't have knee pads. Neither do I have elbow pads. I never thought I would ever need them. But guess what? You do. And the only reason why I say that is because at some point, you're going to get very enthusiastic by your board that you're going to want to go ahead and push limits. Let me go ahead and get down to the details as to what happened. So my rides, I'm a truck driver and I rarely have time to ride my board. But when I have the time to ride my board, I go on very long rides. I don't just do, let me go to the store down the street. Let me go get some food, I actually go on rides. I go explore my city. I go explore new places that I could go to and just ride around the city. My rides are no less than 8 miles. My rides are no less than 12 miles sometimes. This specific ride, when I had this specific accident, which I'm going to go ahead and show you guys exactly what happened to me. So on this side right here is pretty much my hand. So my hand over on this side, what happened is I was riding my Onewheel. I had gone for a very specific ride that was about 15 miles. Right around the corner of my apartment, I somehow decided to push the board to its limits. What do you think happened when you push the limits of a board? So here's the thing. If you push the limits of a board, the best thing I could tell you is you're gonna risk something. There's gonna be a very specific consequence that will come with that specific goal, which is to push the limit, right, of the board. Now, what happened to me is that on this side, you could tell I have the miles that are shown right there, and my speed limit is 25.7 miles an hour. That's pretty fast if you think about it. Now, let me tell you something. Cpsc. Here's my message to you. I'm safe enough. I'm well aware of how I need to ride my board. But the only reason and the only actual way that you can learn something about something is by experience. If you don't experience, you'll never get to see. I understand there actually has been so many accidents that have happened out there, and that's obviously a bad thing. But everybody's got their own luck. Everybody's got their own experience, just like the human experience. We all have a different type of human experience, but we have to live through it. We have to make the best out of it. Now, I'm not here to just encourage anybody to buy Onewheels. Get yourself a Onewheel. Get yourself that experience. But most importantly, I'm going to tell you this. Be aware of anything that can happen, because anything that can happen is at your own risk. I'm not here to tell you, buy armor, buy this, buy that, buy a raincoat, buy this, I'm not here to do this, because we all make our own choices. That's the way I live. I made my own choice that night. I was only supposed to go pick some stuff up at the store, but I decided to go for a longer ride, which I truly, truly, truly enjoyed. Till this day, I can remember everything that I did on that ride. Why? Because I love Onewheel. There's nothing I could do about that. Now, here's the thing. As I was riding, I was actually around the corner of my apartment, and this happened. I guess I pushed the limits of the board. If you think about it, I have an extended range battery, but throughout the whole time I was pushing the board. I was maybe riding about 22 miles an hour, between 20 to 22 miles an hour, 23 miles an hour, speeding tops from what I remember. Now, if you're pushing the board to its limits, there's no way you're going to get a long range on that specific charge, right? You're going to get a lot less because you're pushing the limits of the board. Now, instead of getting, let's just say, 25 miles range, I'm only able to get 18 miles because I'm pushing the board. When I was around the corner, I noticed that the battery on my board was at 23%. Meaning, if you push the boards at that limit, there's I want to say 80 to 90 to possibly 95% that your board will toss you, because it can't control that much speed. So you have to be thoughtful of where your battery is when you start and where your battery is when you're about to finish. If you're about to finish in a safe way, or if you want to finish in a safe way, ride safely. That's something I didn't do. Why? Because that's just what I chose. So it's a choice. There's a lot of things that we sit here and do as adults that are choices that we choose to, right? So Cpsc. Let me tell you something. The Onewheel community is filled with grown adults who we choose to buy these specific electric boards. So you can't sit here and tell all of us, I'm talking about a massive amount of people, that you're going to go ahead and not allow us to ride. Why? Because I'm pretty sure everybody that rides Onewheel are careful. But accidents are always going to happen. So there's nothing you can do about that. If you want to go ahead and do that, Cpsc. Why don't you go ahead and go to snowboarding? Why don't you go ahead and go to wakeboarding? Why don't you go ahead and go to skateboarding? Simple example, Nija, the pro skateboarder, he recently just torn his ACL, I believe. And he's out. He's been out. I've been actually watching his Instagram stories, and he's getting better. Now, here's the thing. Anything can happen. I'm talking about these guys jump rails that are like 20 steps. We're not jumping anything. We're just going at high speeds. Anything can happen. But first of all, and mainly, the best thing that anybody can do riding Onewheel is wear gear. If you can, it's a choice. That's my advice. I'm not pointing a gun at you and telling you, go get you some gear. God damn it. I'm not doing that. I'm just simply explaining my experience and how I feel about this whole thing. Now, on that ride, going back to that ride, I ended up with a broken part of my hand, which is this little section right here. What I have is very minimal on my hand, right? As you guys can see, I have two straps right here because I ended up with a broken clavicle. A broken clavicle is going to take about 6 to 10 weeks for it to heal. When they told me that the amount of time that I'm going to be pretty much resting, you know, like a small vacation without doing jack shit, pretty much, right? Just resting, allowing my bones to heal, allowing myself to heal, allowing my body to heal. Here's the thing. I'm aware of that. I'm aware of how much time I'm going to be resting. But let me tell you something. It's all a mental thing when you sit down and you think of all the things that can happen to you, and you get back into this board without doing shit about it. The best thing I could tell anybody is work on your body, work on studying the board, work on studying yourself, and know your limits. There's limits to everything. It's like you're not going to sit here and tell a actual pro surfer to not ride a big wave, right? Because you're afraid that something can happen to that specific person. You can't do that because that person's going to look at you and say, I can live off your fear. That's your fear. So I'm telling you now, don't live off of fear. Be cautious. Be well aware of all the things that can happen in that specific situation, right? So my best advice is be careful, be cautious, do whatever you feel like you need to do in order for you to be successful, or just in order for you to enjoy your board as much as you can. But also, I'm going to go ahead and say this too. Cpsc. Don't ban Onewheel, because you're eliminating something that could be futuristic in the electrical world that we're coming into. You guys don't understand how handy these things are. You guys truly don't understand how much money we could actually be saving on gas. Gas prices are so high. Regardless though, I just want to tell you guys that this is my story with Onewheel. Hope you guys are careful out there. Hope you're actually doing your research before you buy a Onewheel. Do your research, man. Onewheels are for everybody. That's the best thing I could tell you. Onewheels are truly for everybody is riding them. And I'm pretty sure the people that have kids are showing and demonstrating their kids that they need to be safe at the end of the day, right? Because you as an adult, you know exactly what a risk is like. You know what can happen, and you definitely don't want your son or your daughter to be in a bad situation. Everybody deals with their own luck. Everybody has their own life. Everybody has the right to do whatever they want to do. So with that being said, guys, this is my story with Onewheel. Hope you guys like, subscribe. Thank you guys for coming back to the channel. And this is my story. I'll see you guys on the next video.